Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so today it's time for a book haul. So every so often I do one of these videos to show off the new books that I've received. I'm incredibly blessed to have some fantastic friends and authors who send books to me. It's always a treat to receive them, and I love showing them off across my social media and in these videos to thank the authors, to thank my friends, to thank publishers for sending them to me, and to admittedly get a little bit of extra publicity for some of these books as well. That's always a bonus that I do like sharing. So I've got a little stack down the side of me here from the last few months actually. I think October maybe, November certainly was the earliest that I started receiving books in this particular pile, and I've split them up into a couple of different categories depending on where they came from. So we're going to start off with a Kickstarter book actually. This was the first Kickstarter that I backed. I don't generally tend to do so because the costs with shipping included don't often align up, but this is one that I wanted to support, basically to support certain authors that were in it, and it was a gift actually for my wife because it's more her type of reading than mine. But this is The Anatomy of Fear by various authors, headed up by H.L. Tinsley, and there's a bunch of self-published authors whose work I enjoy or have been looking forward to getting to. So I still might read some of these stories, but as I say, it's not really my thing. It's more a collection of fantasy horror than straight fantasy. So I might still read some of these, but this is primarily something that I got for my wife because it's more up her street. Next up, I've got a couple of books that I've received as gifts from friends. So first I've got Christmas presents from my book bestie Nina. She got me two absolute tomes, to be honest. The first one is The Empire's Ruin by Brian Staveley. Now I really enjoyed the what was the series called, The Chronicles of the Unhewn Throne, but I thought book one, The Emperor's Blades, was really great, and then book 2 and 3 kind of let it down. I enjoyed the elements from book 1, and I'm told that we go back to some of those characters and some of those elements in here. But it is a chunker. It's about 900 pages long, so not sure when I'm going to get to this one, but I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it's going to take me back to the enjoyment I got reading The Emperor's Blades. Then the second big beastie tome is one that I've had on my list for a long time. I've really been looking forward to get into, and this is Dragon's Reach by J.A. Andrews. I've heard a lot of good things about this one, but I've not got any sort of really close friends who've properly talked it up, so it's almost kind of second hand rather than first hand that I've been hearing about it, beyond just the occasional yes or no. So I'm looking forward to delving into this one and seeing what I think about it. Then a couple of books that I got from an author actually, as a kind of a thank you for doing some work for him actually. I did a bit of proofreading for E.C. Greaves, Ed Greaves, who wrote Daughter of the Beast and the 2 follow-up books in the Vyshivka trilogy, and as a thank you, because I did, it was just a short piece of work, a short story, so I didn't charge him, but he sent me a couple of books off my wish list for doing that for him. So first of all we have Primal Fury by Noel Traver, and this one's a very shiny cover, but he got me this one basically because it's a big cool looking bear man on the front there, and the cover really appealed to him. Same for the second one, which is Stone and Sky by Z.S. Diamante, with the cool badass griffin on the front there. Both of these titles I've heard some really good things about, and I'm looking forward to diving into. Then I've got a series of books sent by the author, but their own actual books rather than gifting me someone else's books. So first of all, it seems like such a long time ago, but Starlight Jewel by E.L. Lyons, and I read this one in January. Really enjoyed it actually. I've got a review which I'll link in the top corner. Go and check it out, but I definitely recommend this one. It is having a bit of an overhaul. It's getting a new cover, I've seen, so maybe some more people will be prompted to pick it up, because it's more the kind of epic or certainly high fantasy, whereas a lot of people have said from the cover that this looks like a romance. There are romance elements in it, but it's a lot more than that, and the romance isn't kind of one of the key elements. But as I say, definitely recommend checking this one out. I really enjoyed it. And then we have the Thekken Blood by H. Ferry. Now this one, a funny story actually, the author accidentally sent me a few copies of these because after I received this one he bought himself some new author copies and accidentally sent them to my address instead of his. So we spoke about it, and because he's in Germany, I think it was a bit too pricey to have them shipped back. So we agreed that I would distribute these to people to read and review. So I do actually have 2 copies, I think, left. If you're in the UK and you'd like a copy of this one, do let me know. I haven't read it as yet, but I've got a couple of friends who've read it and really enjoyed it. I think Natalie Kelder, the author, it's one of the books that she's really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to trying it out for myself as well. Then a book that I have read already, and it's the 3rd book in a series that I've been really enjoying. This is Resurgence, book 3 of Fractured Orbit by Herman Steuernagel. I've really been enjoying these. It's a great self-published sci-fi series. This one, as I was hoping, kind of took me back to some of the enjoyment levels I had in book 1, Eclipse, whereas book 2 just went down a little bit in my estimation because some of the elements weren't there basically. Some of the elements that I really enjoyed in book 1 were missing, but they were back in here and I really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend checking out this series if you like a good bit of sci-fi. Then I've got 2 books that were sent to me by the author. I did, again, this is one that I did a little bit of work for. So we've got No Heart for a Thief, first of all, by James Lloyd Doolan. And then I proofread book 2 in the series, No Safe Haven. So once the new cover was on this paperback, the author sent me a copy of both of these. I've really enjoyed the series. I really did enjoy No Safe Haven. It was one of my top books of last year, even though I proofread it. It's a different reading experience, but I had a great time with it. I love the magic that you've got in here. It's really interesting. There's some great storytelling as well, some really good characters. So again, it's another high recommendation. Stack's just fallen over. So next up I've got a novella which has come through. This is a review copy of The Ice by Ryan Cahill. I've really enjoyed the series overall. This one is a big beefy novella. I've seen books which are purportedly novels that are shorter than this one. So a very enjoyable read. The whole series is a high recommendation because it's got some great writing in it and some great characters, some great moments, and yeah, this is another lovely addition to my Bound and the Broken collection. Talking about lovely additions to my collection, it's another Dragon Rider series actually, but I've got Last Stand of the Stonefist by Michael R. Miller. This is a 2-in-1 novella. So Last Stand of the Stonefist is a, I guess, kind of prequel to the Songs of Chaos series. It gives backstory to one of the characters from book 1 because that backstory kind of comes up a bit more. We follow on the threads of it in book 2, Unbound, which I've just finished reading a day or 2 ago actually. But the other story that we've got in here which I haven't yet read is The Huntress, which is the kind of, again, a prequel novella I think to the Dragon's Blade series. I couldn't remember what the title to that one was because I've not read that series, but Songs of Chaos I've been really enjoying. This was a really nice prequel novella giving that bit of backstory to the series and to that particular character, and I definitely enjoyed it. And then we've got Troop of Shadows by Jennings Zabriskie. This is a really cool cover. It's one that from, I think it was it SPF 08, maybe SPF 09, but I think it was 8. I looked at it, it caught my eye because it's got a really striking cover, and I quite fancied it basically. Never got round to looking into it in detail, but when the author reached out and offered me a copy, I did refresh myself on the synopsis of it. It did sound really interesting, so I want to give this one a try. I've got a couple of friends who have read it. There are some guns in here, which is not my usual thing, but the type of fantasy that you can get away with that, as far as I'm concerned, for my tastes, is where I'm hoping this one's going to be. So hopefully it's not too big a part of the world, and it doesn't take too much precedence. But yeah, it's a really cool cover, and I'm hoping I'm going to have a really cool book on my hands. And then the last one I've got is from a publisher. This is coming from Angry Robot Books as a review copy. It comes out in April, and it's The Last Fire Hunter by Selene Goldenberg, and I do laugh at this one because my pronunciation there, it sounds like a very different book talking about hunting thighs, so that's obviously not what it is. I really do like this kind of limited edition review copy cover. The cover of the finished edition, shall we say, is really vibrantly coloured and looks really great, but this black and white, this kind of monochrome cover with that golden text looks really cool as well. So I'm going to be reading this one. It's coming out in April, so this is going on my March TBR so I can get it read before release date, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a nice Thai folklore inspired story, so I'm looking forward to delving into it. So it's been a little while. I've kind of been holding off because there's a book that I was expecting to come through, which I wanted to include in this to kind of show it off pretty much as soon as I've received it, but it's been delayed and hasn't come through as yet, so I decided to leave it off, and that'll be in my next book haul. But the books that I've received here, I've got some titles that I've already read since receiving them, because I've had some of these for a little while now, and some titles that I'm really looking forward to get into. So thank you so much to all of the authors, friends, and to Angry Robot as well for sending these titles to me. I really do, as I say, feel very blessed when I receive book mail, and it's fantastic to be able to open up these titles and provide my thoughts on them to hopefully spread the word and get more people buying the books as well. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these, or if there's any that you're particularly looking forward to reading or to hearing my thoughts about as I read them as well. I'll hopefully see you in the next video sometime soon. Until then, as always, take care of yourselves, read some good books. Bye for now.